Good evening, ladies. I hope y'all are doing well tonight. Um, you probably hear the fan going above. It's kind of hot. It's beginning to warm up here a little bit in Texas. We tend to go from having really, really cold to all of a sudden it's just hot, and you think, how did that happen? But anyway, we will have, no, probably about it, we'll have hot, hot, hot weather for the next 10 months. Is pretty much the way this goes. I want to talk a little bit tonight about the drama in your closet, okay? Now, I talked last week, I showed you my jewelry organizer, and that was so much fun because I just really enjoy that. But the idea of drama in your closet is something that I heard about a couple of years ago, and it hit me at just a time when I was really struggling with what was in my closet, primarily because I was struggling with some other things going on in my life. If we think about our closets really should hold the clothes and the items that represent who we are now and the body we have now and the lifestyle that we have now. That would be the ideal, to be able to go reach into our closet, pull out an article of clothing, know that it fits, it looks good, it's appropriate for the activities that we do in our daily life. Let's face it, sometimes that's not always the case, is it? I think our closet holds a lot of drama. It did for me definitely a couple of years ago. In fact, I was thinking about this afternoon, and I thought, it's almost like A Christmas Carol, where Scrooge gets visited by the ghost of Christmas past and the ghost of Christmas future. I thought our closets are kind of like that too. I had a lot of things from my past hanging in my closet, and I'm probably not the only woman who's had this. If you think about it, a lot of us have items in our closet that are from almost like a past life. They're from a past body. Maybe we were younger and thinner. We wore different clothes. Maybe it was before we had children and we got some baby weight, or before we hit maybe 40 and things kind of shifted, and gravity took a hold and things went from one part of the body and settled on another part of the body. So we've got some of those things going on in our closet. I remember a friend telling several years ago she was helping her mom in her closet, and her mother had been someone who loved and adored shoes. I mean, she was like the Carrie Bradshaw before Carrie Bradshaw was on and introduced us to all those expensive shoes. But this mother had some foot issues, and it got to where she could no longer wear those really high stiletto heels and all those strappy shoes that she enjoyed so much. And the daughter was helping her clean out the closet, and she said the mother was really very anxious when it got to the shoes, even though she couldn't wear them anymore and they were taking up a lot of space. There was still this real emotional connection to those shoes. Now, that may sound stupid, an emotional connection to our shoes or to a piece of clothing, but it's not the item. It's what that item represented, a time in our life when, for that particular mother, it obviously was a time when she felt young and attractive and vital and at the top of her game, and, all of those things. And to get rid of those shoes represented a real loss of all of those things. Not only her independence, but perhaps her femininity, her feeling of attractiveness, and all of those things. And it was a real hard thing for that mother and that daughter, because the daughter's being pragmatic. She's not realizing that this is something that's very emotional for mom. And we've probably all got some of those things. Sometimes it's a lifestyle change that happens. When I left being in public education after being a school administrator for a long time, I went through that because I had spent years building up a wardrobe where I reached in my closet every day and I knew what to put on. And then I left that job. We moved halfway across the state. I began to work at home. And I didn't need to put on a jacket and professional looking clothes every day. And I'll be honest, I went through a very definite period of mourning, and I thought it was just antsy. My clothes are not quite right. I'd pass by the mirror and I think, who is that woman? And I didn't realize for a long time that I actually was going through a period of mourning a loss of identity, a professional identity that I had had. And I was hanging on to those clothes And I was telling myself, I might go back to work in that field. I might decide to do this. I might decide to do that. In other words, I was telling myself a lot of lies that were giving me an excuse and a reason to hang on to those clothes, even though they did not fit my current lifestyle at all. So, lifestyle changes, body changes, all of those things mean that we frequently have clothes hanging in our closet or folded up in the drawers. Yes, same thing with kids' clothes in closets. You know, there's something about pulling, and I'll be honest, I've got a few of my kids' baby clothes. I bought a sweater box several years ago, one for each child, not too terribly big, and I told myself I'm going to limit myself to those. But I've got one of those boxes for each of my kids, and I kept a couple of their most special outfits to me. Some of the things that maybe their pictures were taken in, or just some things that were really special. And when I open those things up every now and then, I'll be honest, I'm transported back to when my babies were little, and when I was younger, and when, in some ways, when life was simpler. Now they're young adults, and I'll be honest with you, if you've got young adult kids, there's nothing simple about having young adult or adult kids at all. So I think we've all got some of those things we hold on to. And it's not just because we're hoarders or because we're pack rats, although sometimes we may tell ourselves that, or whoever shares our closet or is helping us clean out our closet may try and make us feel like that's the case. But it's something very visceral level, that is that emotional connection to those clothes, to those shoes, to those baby items. It feels like cutting off a body part in a lot of ways to get rid of them. It's extremely hard. I will be honest, we have been out here now 3.5 years, and while I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, I am still going through the last of my quote unquote professional wardrobe and getting rid of some of those things. It has been painful to get rid of some of those clothes, because it also is that feeling of a little bit of an end of an era, or the final acceptance that, okay, life has changed. It's not going to go back and be the way it was. And it's sad. I think there's some grieving that goes along with whether it's getting rid of clothes from our past or from our children's past, or any of those things. It's very tough emotionally to do that. Or at least it was for me, and I don't think I'm that unique or that special. I figure that anything I'm experiencing, that someone else is going through that as well. But back to the clothes in our own closet, our lifestyles change over time too. I was never a party person at all, and I never had a job that required fancy dress up clothes, particularly. I mean, they had to be professional, but they weren't what you'd call fancy or party wear. But for my friends that had husbands, that they had fancy Christmas parties and more formal occasions they went to, when life changes and shifts and you're no longer going to those events, there's some grieving that goes through that. There's also this feeling of, I spent good money on that, and I have fallen prey to that more times than I care to admit. That I feel like, well, that's perfectly good. It still fits. I paid good money for it. I might use it again. All of those kind of things that keep our closet really rooted in the past. And so when we open our closet doors, we're not finding the self that is the now self, and the now body, and the now lifestyle, and those things. We're kind of looking at the ghost of a former self and the ghost of a former life. And I think it holds us back. I think it holds us back a lot. Because first of all, we've got this closet stuffed with clothes, or at least my closet was stuffed with clothes. And I wish I could say I'm a girl who doesn't like clothes, but you probably can tell from looking in my jewelry box last week that I like all that stuff. So I'll never be one of those who has, 5 outfits and all of that. I like the clothes. I like to mix and match. And so I have this closet full of clothes, and by holding on to the things of the past, I did not literally have physical room in the closet for new things to come in. So instead of changing and evolving and embracing what my life was becoming, I was still over there, holding on like crazy, like my life depended on it, to those old things. And until I really kind of got through that grieving process, it was I was really literally unable to let them go. And I said, I don't think I'm the only one. You know, how many friends have we talked to that decided to stay home after they had children and not go back to work, and yet they're hanging on to their clothes from the time when they were out working there, or you know, we've gained weight, things have shifted, and we're telling ourselves, oh, I'll lose those 15 pounds. And you know, I've heard the joke about women in their closet have their skinny clothes and their fat clothes and their in between clothes. And for some of us, it's just a case of we have our fat clothes, and then we have our, oh my God, I'm even fatter clothes. So, you know, there's all this drama frequently going on in our closet about accepting who we are, what we look like, where our bodies are now, and what our lifestyle is like right now. So I think our closets can be the source of a lot of drama and a lot of distress and a lot of angst. Now, I also have heard of a lot of folks that talk about when they have made a move from one part of the country to another. For example, down here in Texas, 10 months out of the year in Texas, it is hot, it is sunny, and we're running around in our flip flops all the time. And you may live in a part of the world where I know some of you are in California, where you have nice weather all the time and you don't need separate wardrobes for all of the different seasons. We very seldom have, well, okay, we have spring and fall in Texas, and it's about 45 minutes long, and if you don't go outside, you'll totally miss it. So we don't have clothes that are for all those different seasons. But you know, if someone makes a major move to a different part of the country, they may look up and realize, you know, I'm holding on to things from a life when I lived somewhere else. And especially if that was a life that you were enjoying, it can be hard to let those things go. Now, you know, when you think about ghost of closet future, I think there's also some things going on there too. Because all of us, no matter what our age, whether we're 21 or 101, if we're alive and breathing, we're getting older. And if we're honest with ourselves, we know that as we get older and change, our lifestyles are going to change more, and our physical abilities and um, all of those things are going to change as well. And sometimes I think we hold on to things because we fear what's coming in the future. You know, we may have watched an older parent, or, you know, someone else we were close to age, and we're afraid that, oh, if I get rid of these things from my youth, am I becoming, okay, let's just get real here. Let's just get real. If I let go of those things from my youth and when I'm in good physical shape, am I going to all of a sudden turn into someone who is infirm and is less agile, less physically capable? Am I saying that's where I'm going to be sliding off to? And while a lot of us are going to slide there anyway, it's real scary to think that we are capitulating to that any sooner than necessary. So that ghost of closet future, you know, in our closets is something that's scary. At least at a certain age. You may be too young to maybe even think about that yet, but there does come an age where you start thinking about and realizing that, I'm not getting any younger, and I'm already having to let go of the high heels, or, you know, the garments that are a little tight in the waist now because gravity has shifted everything around. And you're looking and realizing that this is just going to change more. And it's very scary. I think especially for women, because so much emphasis is put on how we look and how we dress and being fashionable and being stylish and all those kind of things. Now, I may be totally wrong. There's a lot of times that my husband will tell me I'm totally wrong, of course, but I don't think they have some of those same societal expectations that we have on us. Now, our closets also represent our goals and our dreams. Yeah, it's amazing how fast that age gets there, isn't it, Brenda? You know, we also sometimes have clothes in our closet that represent something that's an idealized self. For example, if you decide, okay, this is the year I'm going to take up running or yoga or whatever it be. Maybe, you know, this is the year I'm going to take up hiking or mountain biking, and you invest in clothing to, you know, that go along with that activity. You know, this is the year I'm going to plant the garden and I'm going to work outside. You know, we have a lot of clothes in our closets sometimes that represent the things we are going to do. You know, and if you've invested a lot of money in yoga clothes and workout clothes, and then you finally admit to yourself, well, I'm just never doing that. You feel like a failure because you know, okay, one more time, I'm not doing something I said I was going to do. And again, I've paid for all this, and I'm not, I'm letting it go. I'm wasting money. And are you admitting to yourself that, well, I'm just never going to do yoga. I'm just never going to get healthy, and I'm never going to be in good shape. So our goals and our dreams and what we idealize for ourselves is a lot of times in our clothes. And I don't think we consciously go to the store with that in our head, but I think it comes out in our purchases, whether we mean for it to or not. So anyway, like I said, I have no brilliant thoughts tonight on the drama in our closet. It's just something I've kind of gone through myself as I have struggled to let go of a self that used to always know how to dress in the morning, and now I'm kind of going, okay, none of those things are appropriate. And you know something else I told myself? This is another lie I told myself. With all those professional clothes hanging in my closet, I kept a lot of them for a long time, telling myself, well, you always need to have clothing back so that if you have to go to a funeral. And I do think that's true. You know, you never know when something comes up that you need to go to a funeral, or you need something to go to a wedding, you know, whatever it be. But I finally had to admit to myself, I didn't need 20 outfits to go to a funeral. Nobody was going to go to that many funerals in that quick quick a period of time. Thank goodness. And so I've let some of those things go. But anyway, I have no great thoughts of wisdom with closet drama. I would love to know what you guys think about closet drama. Do you suffer from closet drama? If you do, how have you coped with it? How have you managed to get over it? What insights do you have for the rest of us? The only thing that has helped me with closet drama has been a little bit of time to finally kind of get to the stage that I've realized that, okay, I'm not going back and doing that job anymore. And it's okay that that job did not define me, because a lot of times I think that's, I can only speak for me. For me, that was at the root of a lot of my closet issues. That job had defined me for so long that to get rid of the clothes felt like I was flushing a major piece of my history and my personal and professional identity at a time when I had nothing to replace it with yet. And I think that was the struggle, is I was not sure, now that I'm not a school administrator, who am I, what am I, and where am I going next? And that was the struggle. And my closet showed it. My closet really, really showed it. But my closet is slowly getting better. Now, it needs a little love here because, like I said, you know, our month we had of winter, the scarves and the mufflers and, you know, the jackets and things have kind of all gotten pushed in. And I'm one of those, I like my closet divided by, you know, tops on one rod and bottoms and skirts and things on the other, and dresses in an area, and then divided by color and by sleeve length and all that. That's really the way I like for my closet to look. And during the course of the winter, things have kind of gotten pushed here and there, and instead of necessarily being where they are by sleeve length, they've all kind of moved to the front. Of course, in Texas, we have so much hot weather that usually the long sleeve things are off over closer to the wall and are harder to reach. And so it's time to do some reshuffling and make it where the short sleeved and the sleeveless things are easier to get to. So anyway, that's all I had tonight about closet drama. Like I said, leave me your comments. You know, tell me what you've struggled with closet drama. Maybe you think I'm just totally full of hot air, and some days I'm full of hot air. So, you know, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know what your particular thoughts are on the issue. Anyway, I thank you for joining me and listening to me ramble a little bit tonight about closet drama and, you know, ghost of closet past and closet future. I look forward to the day when I open my closet and truly all that I have is just the ghost of closet present, with no other ghost in my closet to give me that drama. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope y'all have a great week. Go tame a little bit of your frenzy, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.